Dread Beaten Blood is kind of this. It's a kind of a metaphor for the tension and the violence that were a part of that culture of resistance to which reggae was so central.
His record, Dread Beaten Blood, absolutely knocked us for six. It was his delivery, his words were so clever, the beats, it was so understated. It was like nothing you'd ever heard before, and he was like a god to us.
I don't begin with a piece of music, I begin with the word. And the language of the verse I write will determine the rhythm of the music. I hear music in language, so that in a poem like, for example, Hit No Funny, I say them with tech chants. And that's exactly what the bass plays. Da 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 da. And the one section will play the same rhythm as well. You know, that was my aesthetic, that I wanted to write verse that sounded like a bass line. I wanted to write lines of poetry that sounded like a reggae bass line.
The mix of instrumental sounds, the bass and echo effects in Dread Beaten Blood were the result of an unusual partnership.
The great thing about dub is that it's the engineer's art. It's what the sound engineer does. It's the deconstruction of a piece of music and its reconstruction as an act of illusion. By act of illusion, I mean you have a spatial dimension which is created with echoes and reverbs.
British dub is quite a lot different to its Jamaican counterpart. Quite a lot of young British people like the fact that the echoes would take them into a different world, you know, or you could hear your favorite song mashed up. You know, it was like making scrambled egg.
Bovell's first experience of this musical bricolage didn't come from Jamaica, but from an album he had at home.
I'd thought that the first dub I'd heard was Jimi Hendrix's song called Third Stone from the Sun. The amount of echo on the guitars and the sound effects in there were positively the first sort of dubbing I heard, right? And then to find that creeping into reggae, it was like, yeah.
It was this mixture of early influences from pop records, school friends and sound systems that would earn him the title Godfather of British Dub. Dub sounds became part of the musical mix for many British rock and punk bands at that time.
Now, Police came along and turned reggae into rock and roll by adopting the Jimi Hendrix experience style of a three-piece band, drums, bass, and guitar, and playing reggae.
We completely bastardized reggae. We plundered it without remorse. We took from it what was useful to us, but we made no attempt to repackage it and deliver it back unto the people, which would have been false.
The Police began life as a punk reggae band in 1977 with an agenda all their own. Roxanne, off their first album, became their signature tune.
Well, the first time I heard Roxanne, I heard Sting come out with this song. And he had it as a sort of a bossa nova with the chords going... So it was very soft and kind of sexy song. So, yeah, really nice, but bossa nova, this is the punk scene. You're going to get killed. We started to sort of change it around, and we were sort of being influenced by reggae at that point, and to see if there was some way we could change the drumming.
And so we reggae-fied this bossa nova tune that he had written, and it's not even real reggae. You know, Andy Summers, his guitar part, is not the up chick, it's the downbeat. He plays 1, 2, 3, 4, chick, 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 chick.
And that locked the whole thing together. So we had the straight 4 on the bar guitar, and the drums doing this kind of reggae feel, and the bass line going with that. So it's all doom doom, doom doom doom.
We try to be as mercenary as possible because we want to conquer the world, but actually we can't resist playing with this thing that really is fascinating us and turns us on, and we find this new rhythmic formula, and which applies to Sting's newfound ability to write fancy chords with a guitarist who can play them, and it was like candy for us.
At the same time, there was a little group of mainly Midland bands digging further back into Jamaican history. In Coventry, they were reinventing the sound of the 60s. Two Tone were a kind of musical commune that included Selector, The Beat, and Madness. They injected old-school Jamaican ska with a new punk energy.
You know, the Two Tone guys, they were from Coventry, and Jerry Dammers, this, you know, the maestro who pulled that all together, which was the weirdest thing. I mean, I never got to know Jerry at all. Some of the other guys, yeah, but Jerry seemed like a complete mastermind. I don't know what part of his brain was working, but some part clearly was in focus.
I'd say we were the beginning of the imitation generation, you know, we were, at least we were one of the first to do it. We were like the Jam. This was like imitating the past, but in real life.
This was our inspiration.
It'd be really hard to say why retro culture happened, but it did, and it was exciting.
I think it was good from the point of view that it probably introduced a younger generation into that music. And you go and find the originals, and it's like, oh, that's what it's about, you know. And then those originals lead you on to something else. It's like you know, they're like stepping stones, I think. So I think Two Tone was important from that point of view, you know.
The ska that we played was very different. We didn't really know how to play Jamaican ska properly. If you listen to it, it's actually a strange fusion of bits of skinhead style, a bit of mod style, a bit of Jamaican rude boy style, you know, mixing it and matching it and creating something which never actually happened in the first place, exactly.
There are, I believe, periods of huge energy and change, and I think youth always needs something to kick against, and if the political climate feels more oppressive to them, they will kick harder, and something else, something bigger and better will grow out of it.
Don't be immature, don't be a poser. I'll pretend you're in your bed of roses. Don't wanna be rich, don't wanna be bad, but I really
in a way, the special is playing out a kind of